Welcome to Bilyonaryo Quiz B, the quiz show that puts young Filipino minds to the ultimate test. I'm David Celdran, your quizmaster, armed and ready with thrilling questions and challenging rounds that push deserving college students that much closer to a life-changing sum of 1 million pesos in our grand finals. That's right, 1 million pesos. So while we might celebrate knowledge and quick thinking on this show, tonight's spotlight is just as much on the courage it takes to compete here. Backstage is a fresh batch of contestants who signed up to tackle tough questions in one of the most mentally demanding arenas. So, let's meet today's inspiring contestants who dared to take on the challenge of Bilyonaryo Quiz B. That's right. Let's say hello to contestant number 1. He's a 21-year-old graduating student in naval architecture and marine engineering, known for his resilience. He's a scholar as well and storyteller shaped by personal loss, and he now joins the show to prove that perseverance can stand with excellence. Disembarking on BQB Sport is the first student to represent the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies. Let's say hello to Jessie Josane Petalio. That's right, Jessie Josane. Is that Josane? That's right. Hello, Jessie. It's Jessie Josane, right?
Josane po, sir.
All right, I'll call you Josane. All right, let's meet our next contestant. Contestant number 2 is a 21-year-old industrial engineering junior, an accomplished debater, and an experienced academic quiz competitor. Sounds interesting. Not only does he have a passion for interdisciplinary thinking, he also plays the violin with his non-dominant hand and makes a mean New York cheesecake. This guy's an all-around guy. Coming from school to music room to kitchen, and now onto the BQB stage is UP Diliman's Neil Dominic De Jesus. Hello, Neil.
Hello.
All right, take your position, Neil. Can't wait to talk to you in a while. Now let's meet our final contestant. Contestant number 3 is a 19-year-old computer engineering sophomore, a scholar and a writer with a childhood dream of becoming an astronaut. Why not? This astronomy enthusiast works to promote science, communication, and dreams of one day working for NASA. Shooting for the stars today is De La Salle University's Angelica Gregorio. Let's meet her. Hello, Jelly. Good to see you, Jelly. Take your position. Okay, let's cheer on Jessie, Neil, and Jelly as they show us what true determination looks like. Now, they're going to need your support as they navigate the mechanics of today's competition. Today's elimination episode will consist of 3 rounds of collegiate-level questions. The first 2 rounds will cover history, science and technology, arts and literature, math and logic, geography and nature, and general information. Contestants must listen very carefully as I read each question out loud. Remember, only the viewers at home have the benefit of reading them on screen. After round 2, the contestants with the highest score will advance to the final bonus round, while 2 with the lowest scores will be eliminated. Let's break down the mechanics of round 1. There are 12 questions worth 1,000 pesos each. The first contestant to buzz gets to answer. Correct answers earn points, while incorrect answers give the remaining opponents a chance to steal. Let's see who can outsmart and outbuzz their opponents in round 1 of the Bilyonaryo Quiz B. All right. Now this is going to be exciting. We have Ames versus UP Diliman versus De La Salle University. Let's find out whether it's Jessie, Neil, or Jelly that moves on to the semifinals and to our bonus round. But remember, contestants, in our first round, you'll have to buzz whenever you think you have the answer. But remember, you have to wait for me to acknowledge you first. If you buzz without me doing that, you just give away your answer for free to your competitors, and you also miss your chance to steal. Okay? So listen in. If we're ready, viewers, keep in mind that our contestants here experience the game differently than the way you do at home or wherever you are while you're watching this. You see, while each question here that you see at home is shown on screen, that gives you time to analyze and break it down. However, today's contestants here, only the questions that are said out loud by myself, which is a much tougher task, of course, especially for math and science problems, okay? So let's appreciate their effort and resilience as they embrace this intellectual challenge. So let's begin, guys. Let's start off with history. Question number 1, round 1, 1,000 points for every correct answer. And here he goes. Often referred to as God's influencer, what Italian teenager is said to be canonized as a Catholic saint? Jelly.
Carlo Acutis.
That is correct. Carlo Acutis. This coming September, he will be canonized. Right now, he's just Blessed Carlo Acutis. Are you familiar with Carlo Acutis? I'm sure you are. The first saint that will represent the internet age, okay? Carlo Acutis. Let's go to our next question. Science and technology. So fill in the blank, okay? It's in science. Newton's first law of motion about bodies at rest and in motion is also called the law of blank. Jelly was first.
Inertia.
That's correct, inertia. A body will not start moving until and unless an external force is applied to it. Jelly has 2,000 points. Neil, Jessie, you're both quick to the buzzer, but not as quick as Jelly is. But don't worry. So many more questions up next. 10 more to go in this round. Let's go to arts and literature. What sacred object was sought by the knights of Arthurian legend? Neil.
The Holy Grail.
You got it. Holy Grail. And also by Indiana Jones in the movie about the Crusades.
Ark, yeah.
That's correct. Holy Grail. Of course, what was the Holy Grail? It was known as the cup in the Last Supper. Although if you watch Da Vinci Code and other such documentaries, they say it was something much more. It was the blood of Christ, literally, the blood of Christ, the bloodline of Christ. Let's go to our next question. Math and logic. To help his students understand three-dimensional geometry, what famous object was invented by a Hungarian professor and architect in 1974? What's that object? To help students learn better, learn geometry better, 3D geometry better. Neil?
The three-dimensional plane.
No. We're looking for an object. Time is up. I'm pretty sure you know this, Jessie, Jelly. I could have said a toy, but that would have been too easy. Rubik's Cube. It was a Rubik's Cube. It was, first of all, an educational object, which became a toy, a puzzle that we all love today. And I'm sure you've played the Rubik's Cube. All right. You know, there are around 500 million plus cubes that have been sold since this invention was introduced. Let's go to our next question. Oh, by the way, Erno Rubik is Rubik in Rubik's Cube. Next question is in geography and nature. Okay. Now, this is a picture quiz. I'll ask you to look at our screens for the clue. What Pinoy nickname, looking at this picture on screen, what Pinoy nickname, I bet you know this, Neil.
Lolong.
Yes, it is Lolong. Is that Lolong? It is Lolong, actually. Because he's no longer alive, right? He's been... Exactly. What Pinoy nickname was given to this creature that literally made waves in 2011. His name was Lolong, world's largest crocodile ever caught and placed in captivity. And because of that, there was quite a controversy about whether crocodiles in the wild should be kept in captivity, because some animal rights activists said that's precisely why he died, because he couldn't survive in captivity. Okay, let's go to our next question. General information now. In business, what common roadside enterprise in the Philippines has a name that ultimately derives from the Roman god of fire? Jessie.
Mars.
No. Neil.
Sari Store.
No. Jelly. Philippine business derives from the Roman god of fire. Do you know the Roman god of fire? Vulcan.
Vulcanizing.
So what business?
Vulcanizing store.
Vulcanizing.
Yeah.
Vulcanizing shop. Okay, everywhere else in the world they call it tire repair shop. Dito sa Pilipinas, only in the Philippines, vulcanizing shop. Okay, ganun yung mga Pilipino. No? Ganun tayo. We have all these names for ourselves. Vulcanizing shop. All right. Okay, let's go to our next question. History. What was built by Father Diego Serra between 1816, Jelly?
Bamboo Organ Church or Bamboo Organ.
I'll give you a chance. Which bamboo organ?
Bamboo Organ Church of Las Piñas City po.
That's correct. Okay. Las Piñas bamboo organ. Yes. Built by Father Diego Serra between 1816 and 1824 in a town south of Manila, and declared a national cultural treasure of the Philippines in 2003. This is still the easy round. We're giving you chances. Las Piñas bamboo organ. So just a note, if your answer is correct but incomplete, I'll give you a chance to complete that answer. Okay, just to be fair to everyone. Next question. Science and technology. The chemical formula of methane indicates that it is composed of how many hydrogen atoms? Neil?
4.
Yes, 4. CH4. 4 atoms indeed. 1 carbon atom, 4 hydrogen atoms, CH4. Next question. Arts and literature. What is the popular term for the star or the principal female dancer of a ballet company? The star. Neil?
The Black Swan.
No. That was a movie though about a ballerina. What do you call the principal dancer? She's called a prima ballerina. Prima ballerina. Okay, the star, the principal ballerina. Next question. Math and logic. Question number 10. 62 is 31% of what number? 62 is 31% of what number? Neil, right on time.
190.
No. You can steal. Jelly, Jessie. Time is up. Answer is 200. 200. Divide 62 by 31. That gives you 2. Multiply 2 by 100. 200. 190. Very close. Just 10 points away from 200. Next question. Geography and nature. Hydroponics is a technique of growing plants in a nutrient solution instead of growing it on what? Jelly?
Soil.
Yeah, soil. Or earth, ground. That's what hydroponics is, okay? So we go now to our final question, round number 1. Very close. Jelly with 4,000, Neil 3,000. Jessie, no points yet, but that's just 2, 3, 4 answers away from the other contestants. So you still have a great chance, Jessie. Listen in. General information. I like this question. The President of the Philippines resides on what presidential street? Ano yung kalye? Looking for the street where the President of the Philippines resides. You probably know where the President resides, but what is that street? Jelly?
Osmeña Street.
No. Neil?
Malacanang Road.
Well, good guess. It is Malacanang Palace after all. Make a smart guess, Jessie. Yeah.
Katipunan Road.
Well, we're all at least Philippine-named roads. Okay, no, J.P. Laurel, Jose P. Laurel. Look at your map, look at your Google Maps. Jose P. Laurel is the answer. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, right? We just know it's Malacanang Palace. No one really bothers to check the street name of Malacanang Palace. So it is Jose P. Laurel. And by the way, named after a president of the Philippines, second president of the Philippines, right? Of the Second Republic of the Philippines from 1943 to 1945, J.P. Laurel. All right, let's check our scores. Jelly's in the lead with 4,000 points. Neil has 3,000 points. Jessie still at 0. But you know what, Jessie? As I said earlier, we're going into a second round where we're now upping up the points to 2,000 for every correct answer. That gives you a lot of chances to catch up with Neil and Jelly. But of course, before we get there, let's go to a break first. We'll continue with round number 2 right after this break. Bilyonaryo Quiz B, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Bilyonaryo Quiz B, the TV quiz show that puts sharp minds and quick thinking through the ringer. Oh yes. Now we're cranking up the difficulty level in our second round of competition. But first, let's get to know our contestants just a little bit better. Let's start with Jessie over here. Jessie is from Ames. And I love your jacket, Jessie.
Thank you.
It's apparently it's an exclusive jacket just for your program, right? And this is naval architecture
and marine engineering.
and marine engineering. That sounds really high tech. You know, we all know the Philippines dominates the shipping industry around the world.
The maritime
But
field.
tell us about the talent and skill required for a course like yours. What exactly do you do after?
In naval architecture, we design vessels based on the requirements set by an owner. So for example, if you want a vessel to, let's say, carry a capacity of 4,200 tons, then we will design based on what you want.
So in the Philippines, we don't just build the ships literally in shipyards. We also design them through people like
Yes.
you.
There are many designing firms in the Philippines, which mainly designs the vessels.
And you're hoping to join one of those top firms. What is your dream design, your dream ship to design?
My dream thesis was to build a research vessel that could maybe navigate the Philippine waters better.
That sounds good, Jessie. I hope you actually get to achieve that dream of yours, okay? And good luck when you become a professional in the industry. All right,
Thank you, David.
Jessie, thank you so much. Let's go to Neil over here. Neil, industrial engineering student. You know what industrial engineers do? They solve problems.
Yep.
They make life supposedly better for all of us. They make life more efficient. Now, if I were to put you in the shoes of the traffic czar or the DOTR secretary, okay, Vince Dizon, for example, how would you fix traffic in Manila?
Yeah, well, it's great. It's like industrial engineering. I think Metro Manila is a very, very big, very cluttered system in and of itself. And industrial engineering is all about solving systems and making them better. So if it were up to me, I think it's way more on focusing on public transport. I think we've all seen the photos of how buses can transfer 150 people in just one bus compared to, 75 cars. And I think that I've seen this one quote, which is, a good public transport system is a good transport system is one where even the rich use public transport.
Right.
I think that's the type of system that we should have instead of people resorting to driving or having to resort to grabs and sticking up all of EDSA, right? So it's better that we focus on all of that. So, the EDSA busways, great idea. I think more subway stations, more MRT stations, I think that would be great. And it means that I could finally get to where I want to be on time.
Definitely, and hopefully more affordable as well.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much, Neil. Secretary Dizon, if you're listening, you might want to recruit Neil into your office soon when he graduates. Thank you, Neil. Let's go to Jelly over here. I love it that you're an astronomy enthusiast. This passion began when you first received a telescope, no? A telescope on your birthday, and since then, this has been your passion. What is it about space that fascinates you most, Jelly?
What fascinates me the most about space, it's like a large place that there are so many unknowns, and I love discovering into the world na madami pa pong hindi nalalaman since I'm very curious about different things. That's why I took engineering degree then, since I want to discover more about what's beyond about what I already know.
That's right. That's a perfect way to put it, because right now you have the tool of artificial intelligence that helps humans understand the world better.
Yes.
Right? But there's a big debate about AI replacing human intelligence. What's your stand on this, Jelly?
In terms of AI, for me, AI is good when we are using it correctly and ethically, since they are just there to assist us, not to replace us, since human intelligence is still very unique, and human intelligence is different from what we trained, and also we human is the one who also trained the AI. So I think human intelligence is very significant also nowadays, to the point now we cannot are really replaced by an AI.
Definitely. That's why we have shows like this to prove that human intelligence still trumps artificial intelligence, at least in 2025. Just kidding. At least we hope forever, right? All right. So before we continue with our next round, this time we're upping the game. 2,000 points for every correct answer. Let's first listen to the mechanics of round number 2. In round 2, the game mechanics remain the same, but the questions are now more difficult and worth 2,000 pesos each, except for the Bilyonaryo Booster question, which is worth an exciting 4,000 pesos. No wagers, no penalties, just a big-time boost to get our contestants nearer the Bilyonaryo Quiz B finish line. At the end of this round, the 2 contestants with the lowest scores will be eliminated, leaving one weekly winner to advance to the bonus round and a slot in the semifinals. If round 2 ends in a tie, the game goes into a sudden death tiebreaker, where the first contestant to answer correctly wins. So get ready, contestants. May the Bilyonaryo Quiz B odds be in your favor. Yes. Again, remember to wait for me to acknowledge you before you answer after buzzing. You don't want to give away your answers for free to the others, and of course, you don't want to lose your chance to steal. But remember, this is the last round now, 2,000 points for every correct answer, and we do have the Bilyonaryo Booster question. So like Jessie, you're trying to catch up. You're gonna need to answer those questions as well as you can, okay? So let's begin. History and in education in particular. Here is a question. What is a popular name of Act number 854 of the Philippine Commission that established in 1903 a scholarship program for Filipinos to pursue higher education in the United States? We're looking for the scholarship program. What is it called? Act number 854 created this program. The answer is pensionado. Pensionado. The students were called pensionados. They were given scholarship to the US, come back, and of course fill up the government positions, the schools, to run the country during the American colonial period. Pensionados. Let's go to our next question. This is a picture quiz. Let's take a look on either LED screen for the clue. All right, take a look at this visual. What is the 8-letter medical term for the vertical groove? Neil?
Philtrum.
Yes, it is philtrum. The vertical groove between the base of the nose and of the upper lip. It's called the philtrum, okay? And it was derived from the Greek word for a love charm. Just near the lips, which is one of the most central parts of the face. It was called the philtrum. Let's go to our next question. Arts and literature, in architecture in particular. From the French word for raw, what architectural style is manifested in the design of the cultural center of the Philippines with its exposed concrete and bold geometric forms, Neil?
Brutalist.
Yes, brutalist or brutalism. From the French word raw, brut. Okay, so Neil has 7,000. Jelly, you're now down to second place with 4,000, but just a few questions away. Jessie, time to come back in. Let's go to our next question. Math and logic. What branch of mathematics deals with properties of space that remain unchanged? Neil?
Topology.
Say that again?
Topology.
Yes, it is topology. Remain unchanged under deformation and is sometimes called rubber sheet geometry, topology. Okay, so Neil's starting to pull away. Jelly, Jessie, you can't allow that to happen if you want to stay in this race. You're all pressing the buzzer at the same time. Just make sure you're first. Okay, next question. At more than 153 million people, it is the most populous island in the world. Neil?
Batavia.
Wrong. Jessie?
India?
No. Let me finish, Jelly. We can finish this question. At more than 153 million people, it is the most populous island in the world.
China.
No. The answer is, well, Batavia is a city within Java. Java is the island. Batavia is the old name for Jakarta. Okay? Of course, Jakarta being one of the biggest cities in the world. About 56% of the Indonesian population reside in the island of Java alone. Okay, let's go to our next question. General information. In economics, okay? What two-word term refers to a luxury item for which demand increases? Neil?
Luxury. Wait, no. Luxury good.
Wrong. What two-word term refers to a luxury item for which demand increases as the price increases, which is contrary to the typical law of demand. Imagine that. The price as demand increases, so does the price. Usually it's the other way around, right? It only applies to, yes, luxury goods, but they're called Veblen goods in economics. After the theorist, Theodore Veblen, if not mistaken, was the sociologist who created that particular phenomenon, the Veblen good. So like luxury cars, the more you want it, the more the prices go higher, and it's a cycle. Okay, so let's go to our next question. Question number 7 is in history. Special missions. Identify the infamous human target of Operation Neptune Spear in 2011, conducted by U.S. Special Forces. Neil?
Osama bin Laden.
Yes, it was Osama bin Laden. He was Osama bin Laden. He was a U.S. Navy SEALs in Pakistan, okay? All right, this is question number 7. We're halfway through the round. This is a Bilyonaryo booster question, so it's 4,000 points. What is the most common household item? What is this common household item containing a radioactive substance? It's in the form, Jelly?
Thermometer.
Wrong. It's in the form of a tiny amount of Americium-241. Neil?
A smoke detector.
Yeah, smoke detector or smoke alarm. An isotope that detects certain particles in the air. It is a smoke detector. Okay, let's go to our next question. Arts and literature. We're looking at landmark books, okay, or very famous books in the terms in literature and philosophy. Okay, man is born free, but everywhere else he is in chains. Everywhere he is in chains. This is the opening line of what seminal book by Jean-Jacques Rousseau? What book? What manuscript? What famous work? It's a very important landmark work in modern philosophy, the social contract, okay? Du contrat social, principles of political right, okay? Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a Genevan philosopher. Let's go to our next question. Math and logic. Just some mental math, but you can always write it down if you want to. It took Bernard 3 hours to go from town A to town B, and then 2 hours for the return trip. If the distance between the two towns is 150 kilometers, what is Bernard's average speed in kilometers per hour? Jessie, come on.
30 kilometers per hour.
30 kilometers per hour is not correct, unfortunately. Neil?
50 kilometers per hour.
5-0. That's wrong. All yours, Jelly.
30 kilometers per hour.
Oh, you weren't listening. That was Jessie's answer. Answer is 60 kilometers per hour. You knew that, Jessie. You're just trying to be very quick. Well, the risk didn't pay off. That's 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 hours, right? And if you divide 3 kilometers by 5 hours, that gives you 60, not 30. 60. Okay. But you're all on the right direction, right? Again, for you watching at home, they don't have the benefit of seeing the equation on the screens. They have to listen to my question. That makes life so much harder for these people over here. When you do your exams, you're holding a piece of paper, right? You don't have your teachers just giving you the equations in front of the classroom. Let's go to our next question. Geography and nature. We're looking at natural formations. In a cave, what type of formation is sometimes called the Sword of Damocles? Neil.
Stalactite.
Yes, stalactite. Don't you know why?
No.
Just a guess.
Just a guess.
There's only stalactite and stalagmite, right?
50-50.
Yeah, but of course, it's because it's an icicle-shaped formation formed at the ceiling of a cave, and it resembles the Sword of Damocles. If you know the Sword of Damocles, it's a hanging over one's head. It's a famous saying as well. Okay, so yes, stalactite is the correct answer. And let's go to question number 12, the final question. This is just for the money points because Neil moves on to the semifinals. Sports greats, okay? I love this question. Born in Iloilo, what FC Barcelona football player? Do you know this, Neil?
Oh my gosh. I know this guy who's
Sorry, time's up. Let me finish. Okay, it's true. No, it doesn't matter, Neil. You're in the lead. Born in Iloilo, what FC Barcelona football legend powered the Philippines to a 15-2 rout of Japan at the Far Eastern Games in Tokyo in 1917? Not yet. So this is way before 1917. He also holds a record as the youngest player of the Spanish club to score in a match. And at one point, he was also the highest scorer in FC Barcelona before Lionel Messi took over his record. Would you imagine a Filipino? The answer is Paulino Alcantara. Paulino Alcantara. That's right. He represented Spain and the Philippines internationally. And yes, he was born in Iloilo, but then he moved to Spain at a very young age. And therefore, he joined FC Barcelona at just 15 years old and became the youngest player to score in a match. So yeah, amazing trivia to learn here on BQB. And so we have a winner, but Jessie, I want to thank you. You're such a sport. The courage to come here. You know, I knew you were trying to answer, but of course, nauunahan ka kasi ng dalawa, no? But maybe next time, okay? Hope to see your school coming back here to BQB. Thank you so much. And of course, Jelly, don't give up on your dream. We want the first Filipina astronaut, okay? The first Filipina astronaut, and not to the moon, but to Mars, okay? That's gonna be you, to Mars. And of course, Neil, you stay where you are because we'll be back for the bonus round right after this break. Stay with us. Our bonus round returns after this. We're back here on Bilyonaryo Quiz B, and what a thrilling ride it's been. Our latest weekly winner has performed brilliantly, of course, earning his way to this critical moment, the Bilyonaryo bonus round, sponsored by Playtime Cares. Now, it's time to test the skills and knowledge that got them this far. Now, with 10 questions ahead and 60 seconds on the clock, the challenge is theirs to conquer. So, how are you feeling right now? Was there like a first round, you're a little rusty, but you pulled away in the second round?
I think it's all about consistency, you know.
Okay.
I think it's all about not giving up. You know, if you're down, you know, all you have to do is
And
put a
not
little more
panicking,
effort.
right?
No
Because
panicking.
Usually, when you're trailing, you get a little nervous. That's where things fall apart.
Yeah.
All right.
Pressure
So
makes diamonds.
composure is important. That's right. Okay. So, are you ready for the bonus round?
Yes.
Listen first to our mechanics.
Welcome to the Bilyonaryo bonus round, which is brought to you by Playtime Cares. Our weekly winners face off against a 60-second clock to answer 10 questions worth 3,000 pesos each. Once a question is asked, the contestant can either take their time to consider their best answer, or they can say pass and move on to the next one. After that, the question is discarded and will not be asked again, even if there is time left on the clock. To begin the bonus round, our weekly winners must first pick one of three mystery categories. Let's hope they choose wisely.
All right, I need you to choose wisely. Take a look at our board over here, our screen over here. We have 3 choices. I'm not going to tell you what they actually are looking for. You have to read between the lines or the words. So, got to believe in magic, precious and few, or what's the world? I'll give you a few seconds to decide. Let me know what your choice is.
I think I'll go with precious and few.
What do you think we're looking for? Precious and few.
Things that are very few in number.
Okay, that's quite general. What in particular?
Anything.
Gems and jewels. I hope you're good in gemology. We're looking for gems and jewels here. All right, if you're ready, I'm going to ask you the question. Timer starts after I do that. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, it's on the logo of our Department of Tourism. What gem or stone?
Pass.
In China, it symbolizes beauty and nobility. Over 90% of an Olympic gold medal is actually made of this.
Copper.
Unit of weight used to measure diamonds.
Carrots.
Main color of the most precious emeralds.
Green.
It's the traditional gift for a 40th wedding anniversary.
A platinum ring.
This gem literally means water of the sea.
Sapphire.
Literally. Chemical symbol of the expensive metal platinum.
PL.
The ancients believed it could prevent drunkenness. What stone? You have a lot of time. Take your time. We only have 1 question left. You said?
Ruby.
Ruby. And last question, second only to the diamond on the most scale of hardness. After diamond, what's next in hardness?
Moissanite.
Okay, let's see what your answers were like, whether they're right or wrong. And of course, we have our audience answering along, and I could see they have different answers on their lips. Let's see who's better. It's on the logo of the DOT. Anyone? The pearl, right? It's that round symbol. Is the pearl on the DOT.
It was a gem.
Pearl of the Orient is how we like to call ourselves. In China, yes, jade symbolizes beauty and nobility. Over 90% of an Olympic gold medal is actually this medal. It's actually just a silver medal with gold plated on it, okay? Unit of weight used to measure diamonds, of course, the carats. Main color of the most precious emeralds is green. What else? Green emeralds. It's the traditional gift for a 40th wedding anniversary, ruby. A ruby anniversary, okay? This gem literally means water of the sea. That was a giveaway. Water of the sea, aquamarine. Okay? Aquamarine. Chemical symbol of the expensive metal platinum is PT, not PL. PT. The ancients believed it could prevent drunkenness. I didn't know this until I started researching about it. Amethyst.
Really?
Amethyst. It's a name from the Greek amethustos, which is not drunken. Amethustos. All right, and the last question, second only to the diamond on the most scale of hardness. I thought you'd get this. It's a sapphire. The sapphire is the second hardest stone after the diamond. So how many is that? That is 3 correct answers out of 10. Still, you have 70,000 earlier. That's still a whopping 26,000 pesos. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Neil. And of course, the best part is we'll see you again in the semifinals. And who knows, maybe the grand finals where you might meet up with some of your other friends from UP.
Yep.
All right, that's it for tonight's episode of Bilyonaryo Quiz B, another thrilling chapter in our quest to showcase knowledge, courage, and determination. So we hope you enjoyed this exciting journey just as much as we did. So to our contestants, very heartfelt thank you for stepping up to the challenge and putting your wits to the test. As always, we're grateful to you, our viewers as well, for your unwavering support, both on air and yes, online. So please join us on our socials and stay up to date on the competition. We enjoy your enthusiasm. All right, remember, as we always say here, learning should never stop because knowledge will always be our greatest asset. We'll see you again next time here on, together, Bilyonaryo Quiz B.